FlossTube. Welcome back to my channel. This is my third attempt at filming this. My mic stopped working. It just quit. So I keep recording. I record the full part and then I go back and check and there's no sound. I thought, okay, well maybe I didn't have it pushed in the whole way, so I went and re-recorded it because I did a test video and the mic worked. And then I re-recorded it and there's no sound. And now when I plug the mic in, there's no sound. So I think the mic just quit. I don't know what else to say. I must have overtalked last night on my live stream and my mic said enough is enough and it threw in the towel. So I am recording with the audio of my phone. That being said, I have to record at a different location because there's less traffic here. The lighting isn't as good, but there's less traffic sounds because otherwise all you're going to hear is big engines, which you might still hear on occasion going across the house, but not as much as you would in the sunroom where I usually record. So that being said, oh, and also I'm in a rocking chair that creaks a lot. So it's not my floor. It's not me passing gas. It's me rocking chair, but I'll try not to rock in it so it's not so noisy. So let's get into the WIPs. I know that, well, I did my my first full stitch with me last night. I talked for an hour and I realize now that I seem to have a lot to say about nothing, but I really enjoyed it and I'd love to do it again. I think it's great to do it as a live stream because then people can comment and I'm looking for comments in the chat to respond to. Just a great way to have a conversation, which I know that the stitch with me's are kind of intended for you to stitch while someone else, watching someone else stitch as a form of companionship, but making it a live stream kind of brings it to a higher element of communication. So while we're stitching together, we can also talk to each other, which I think would be kind of cool. I'm sure I'm not the first person to do this, but I'm thinking about doing it every Tuesday. So doing an update video every Monday and then a stitching video every Tuesday. And I know my plans change like the wind. I'm trying to find something that works, but I'm just, because I have all these new subscribers I'm really excited about, I want to try to put forth an effort to welcome more people in and continue to welcome more people in so that I can continue to receive more communication back from you guys, which is the whole purpose of me doing this, because I don't have a lot of crafty friends and it's good to have you guys to communicate with because otherwise I bore my friends to tears talking about all my cross-stitching stuff. So anyway, last week I was working on quilts by Long Dog Samplers and I had conceded to just finishing a tree I was working on and not doing the whole top section. So I don't have the pattern downstairs with me, but I'll put a picture of what I'm working on. And I wanted to do the top section of this pattern. So I went ahead and just took an extra day because usually at the beginning of the month I set out so many days for each project, and I think I gave myself 3 days for this project, but then it was during a time that I had a friend over, and I talked about it in my last WIP progress video, that I just didn't have the time to dedicate to working on this project. So I gave myself an extra day and I got the top section done, and I'm so happy with the way it turned out. So look at that. That is the whole top minus the border. I gotta be mindful not to cut my sound off since I don't have my mic. The whole top minus the border. The KY are my mom's initials because this is for my mom. My mom is a quilter. She does some great quilting pieces. This is one of my favorites. But she also does a lot of placemats. Quilted, like a set of 4 quilted placemats. And it dawned on me one day, Ma, why don't you put a back on that and turn it into a project bag? So she didn't even know what a project bag was. And I explained to her how this is a thing, and it's a big thing in the cross stitch world. And she said she's going to give it a shot. So I came up with a few little added features to the cross stitch project bag that might make it a more desirable purchase. We're going to experiment with those features, and once we have a finished product, I will show it to you. But I'm very excited because of the type of work that she does with her quilting. I think she can make some really cute and unique pieces, and they're all going to be one of a kind because she doesn't multi-mass make any type of product. She only makes one and then she moves on. It's kind of her way of painting a canvas. So she's not going to paint 18 Mona Lisas. She paints one and moves on. So anyone who gets a project bag from her will get a bag that is unique and unlike any other. And I think it's kind of cool. So we'll see how it goes. She's working on it now. So in the weeks to come, we'll get the final product together, and then I'll show it to you. So I don't do any of this. I run her Etsy store just because she's not the most savvy on the internet. She doesn't know about my YouTube channel, or else she'd know about this. And this is a surprise, so nobody tell her. But she is such a talent, greater than I could ever compare to. And she makes these things out of her mind and from scratch, and it astounds me. So anyway, we'll see how the project goes. The project with the project bag. Sorry. Stay on. Okay. I'm back. All right, so after I finished with quilts sampler, I alternate between sampler and full coverage. So I had to do a full coverage piece. And I wanted to do the next stitching challenge. I'm doing 3 stitching challenges each month. So I did my pain-free crafts stitching challenge. I look exceptionally gray today. My gray is up here in the front, and then the rest of it is not gray. I have 2 gray stripes right here, but anyway. So I did the second stitching challenge. So the first stitching challenge is the pain-free craft stitching challenge, which I did my 2 last week for that. Finished. So now I'm doing my second stitching challenge, which is for the full coverage Fanatics Facebook group, and it is 21 and 21. So I'm doing 21,000 stitches in the year 2021. On this project, I'm working on the creation of Adam, which is the Michelangelo painting in the Sistine Chapel. It is the largest project I will probably ever do in my lifetime because it is 106,000 plus stitches. And I am at like stitch 6,000. So I have like 100,000 stitches to go. I did not finish. So last month I did 1,950. And I have to do a minimum of 1,750 each month to stay on track. So I was trying to at least do 1,750 this month to kind of have a cushion, of a flexible cushion, in case I don't get it done one month this year. And I did not get to 1,750, but I'm only like 180 stitches away. So I will probably, I'm sure I'll get that done by the end of this month, by the end of this week, which is the end of this month. But in any case, I'm not going to show it to you again because you'll not notice the difference of 180 stitches. So I'll show it to you now. and we are here. So there's a lot of blue. Looks better, maybe back a little bit. Kind of looks like a mess the closer you get to it. But this is like a crack in the paint on the original piece, which shows through with the pattern. And there's a lot of like confetti I still have to fill in yet. So I was going and filling in the colors, but then also doing the outer area of if the same color was in the outer area. So it's not getting the full page done. Like this is, I think, the end of the page right here. Like this. And so this all is new page. But I'm mostly focusing on colors 927 and 647 because there's 10,000 plus of each of those colors. So I can just completely dedicate myself to those two colors for a while and just spread it across the page. So I'm not quite sure what direction I'm taking. Okay, I'm running out of storage on my phone. I gotta get rid of some apps or something. My videos keep cutting off because I'm running out of storage. Anyway, I don't have much more to say about this anyway, so I'm gonna move on. But that is my 21 and 21. And while I was working on that, I came across, there's another, my third stitching challenge that I do each month, which is from No New Starts 2021 Facebook group. Every month they do a stitching challenge for Scrabble. So last month I did Scrabble word blade that I picked out from the 10 letters they gave us, and then I used that to make that I stitched on my Zelda piece. So I did 400 stitches on Zelda, and by completing that challenge I had an extra entry into the raffle for the end of the year, which there's a ton of cool raffle prizes, so that was cool. Now this month they did something different where they gave us our 10 letters and then we could make as many words as we were able to that was affiliated with the project that we're working on, and for each word we had to do 100 stitches, and then for each word completed we got an extra entry into the raffle for the end of the year. So I did 5 words. I can't remember them all. I know there was chin, because I did them on red-haired cat, which I love. I think his proportions are hilarious. And so I did chin because he looks like he has a double chin. Big, hang, because the drapes are hanging. Facing, because he's facing us. I don't remember what the last word is, but in any case, I got 500 stitches done. And it's all kind of background stuff here. See, I'm working on this drape and then the area behind the drape. So, and I filled in some of the confetti bits. Wish it would focus better close up. But, that's probably the best we're gonna get. Focus. Anyway, I'm working on some of the confetti bits and just spreading it out. So I like working on this piece because it makes me happy every time I work on it, just because I think the final product is so funny looking. So I'm hoping to do another 500 stitches on this before the weekends, but I don't have a day allotted to this, so I'm going to have to kind of squeeze it in. I wanted to do Legend of Zelda this week, really focus on the confetti. I have so many areas on my Legend of Zelda piece that are almost done and just have a bunch of little bits and bobs that need filled in. So my goal is to do 1,000 stitches over the course of 3 days, which is not a lot, but it's because a lot of it's going to be confetti and it's going to be time consuming. But if I want to take a break from that, I might go and just throw a couple stitches in this until I can get 500 of this done, and maybe throw a couple stitches in Creation of Adam until I get the 180 done to meet the goal on that. I also have a free day, the last day of the month, because I was going to work on my dragon sampler, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But let me finish my progress. So the last thing I want to talk about, after I did those 2 projects and all my challenges were done, I went and started working on the linen and thread stitch along from 2019. I don't remember what it's called. I call it the Peacock stitch along because it's something else, but it has a giant peacock, so that's why I call it that. So it took me a couple months. It took me like 3 or 4 months to finish the peacock, which was the January section of the stitch along. And it took me 2 months with a lot of effort this month to finish the border all around the peacock, which was the February section of the stitch along from 2019. So at this point in time, starting March, I will be doing the March section of the 2019 stitch along. So if I continue each month with the allotted sections for each month, I could potentially finish this in December, which would be pretty cool because I had not anticipated this as a finish, but I could possibly finish this year. Keep in mind, everything I'm working on, everything that I'm working on, I started in 2020. May is when I started a lot of these, in 2020 is when I started a lot of these projects, and then from May on are all new projects. Everything is new from then. So none of them are a year old yet. None of them. So that being said, it'd be cool to get a couple finishes because I don't expect to get many since a lot of the projects I'm doing are pretty large. I thought I might get 2 finishes, but I wasn't banking on this being finished, so I might get 3. But here we are, and I hate this frame, but it was worth it putting it in this giant 17 by 17 frame because I could make sure that all my edges were super straight and even and everything was correct and even, and I think it looks great. Like these are even with each other. Everything is counted out right, and it all matches. I just think it turned out really nice. I know it looks a little bent here, but that's only because this is the edge, and it's not pulled over right. It's not bent. It's straight. It's all straight. I swear. So from this point forward, each of these little squares is a month. January, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. I don't know where it starts though. I don't know which one is March, and so on and so forth. But all of these represent a month. And then in November and December, I do the border around the entire piece, which is going to be very time consuming. So I don't know for sure I'm going to get that done. That's going to be the determinant as to whether or not I finish this by the end of the year. And maybe I'll try to work ahead and do some border bits if I have extra time during the days I allot. Like if I finish a section in a day and a half and I have extra time, I might go do some of the borders so that it's not all stuck to the end, having to do at the end of the year. Then I might possibly get this done, which would be cool. This is going to be a wedding gift for my oldest. She's not even engaged yet, but it takes so long to work on a product that I wanted to have it in place. So at the top there's initials and at the bottom there's a date, and I'm not going to put those on here until I know what her last initial is going to be, which I'm hoping it will be a B, because that's the last initial of her boyfriend that she's had for over 2 years, but we'll see. And then down here I'll put the year of the wedding. So it won't be a full finish until that occurs, but it will be 99% finished, hopefully by the end of this year. The first thing I'm going to do is get it out of that god-awful frame and put it in something smaller and manageable, but it served its purpose. So the last thing I want to talk about is the fact that I am a part of No New Starts 2021, so I cannot start anything new, but I check the rules and I am able to restart something old. So as long as it was listed in my original works in progress, I am able to restart a project, and I would like very much to restart one. So Here is my dragon sampler. And I want to restart this for 2 reasons. One, I hate the colors. I don't like the variegation. I don't like the green. I don't like how it's looking. I don't like the colors at all. 3 reasons, actually. 2, it's too large. This piece is going to be far too large. My daughter wants to hang it on her wall. I originally thought to do it as a pillow, but even as a pillow, it is too large. I must do a smaller count. And the 3rd reason is the fabric. I hate the fabric. It's stretchy. So it's like, this is all messed up right here. It's so hard to make a straight line on this fabric because it's so stretchy and it pulls weird. This fabric is not intended for cross stitching, which I started this piece very early on in my cross stitching experience. Keep in mind, I've only started stitching in 2019, May of 2019. I worked on my cup head and kind of fell in love with stitching and have done it ever since. But this is one of the earlier things I've started, and in my naivete, I was naive in thinking that if I can see the holes, then I can stitch on it. And this fabric is not conducive to cross stitch. The biggest problem is the pilling. If I can catch it in the light, you can see how fuzzy it is. Like the fabric is just pilling, and it looks like crap. So it hit me one night in the middle of the night as I was stitching on something else. I had an epiphany and realized I can restart this. And I'm going to restart this. So I purchased a linen from 123 Stitch by, oh crap, what is it called? I can't remember the designer. I'll let you know when I get it. I will say nothing more on the matter until it arrives, except that it's a 32 count, and my intention is to do 1/1. And mathematically, that should put me at under 10 inches, 10 by 10. It should be like 8.5, something like that. So it's easily able to hang on the wall. I have never stitched on dark linen before. This is like a dark navy blue linen. And I want to use white and like a rich dark red. I'm going to do everything in white, and then the dragons I want to do in red, which I've run across my younger daughter, and she's very much on board with the plan. However, I thought since I'm trying all these new things, I would love to try specialty floss. I've only ever used DMC, so I'd love to get like Colorworks or Silky, satin floss, silk floss. I don't know what would be the best thing to use on a dark linen, and that's where you guys come in. If you have any ideas that you would like to leave in the comments, I will follow you to the end of time, because I'm sure there are many of you out there that have much experience with these different threads that could give me an idea on what white thread type would be best served to cover a dark linen without having a lot of linen showing through on a 1/1 piece. So it has to be a nice strong white for it to look good. But I want to try a different thread because I haven't tried it before, and I thought I'm not going to have a chance for a year, well, 10 months at this point, to do anything else. So this is my one shot to try something new and different with this restart. So if I have to wait for the linen to come for you guys to voice an opinion, I will do so. I'm in no real hurry to get it started, but I do want to start it this year and make some progress on it this year. So let me know what you think. and we'll discuss it more further once my linen arrives. So that's it for now. I'm going to work on Zelda this week. I'm going to work on my Christmas ornaments. I'm working on Mr. Owl this week. And then last day's free day. So, because I'm not working on the dragon. The last day is the free day because I'm not working on the dragon stitch along. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do that day. If I'm just going to try to catch up, or maybe I'll get out an oldie but a goodie. So we'll see. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.